Alright, we're going ahead. We're going ahead and getting a chair so we can sit down and do this. Alright. We're going ahead and putting some never sees and our lock washers and nuts on here. And we're going to get them all on and all lightly tensioned down. And then we'll be able to tighten up the other 9/16 that holds this little bracket right here. And so that the adjustment and stress relief on these plates are all the same. So kind of that's how we're working this before we do our final torque. And but all these are clean and all ready to go back together. So really the only thing that we have coated with our never sees are fasteners. Any of the tapers and the hubs and the locks and all of that, we leave those dry. Metal to metal. And we know both of these hubs, we've had them on, we've had them torqued, and we moved both of them inward. And so the standard rule of putting the hub back in the same spot and locating it with that set screw, that's a false statement unless every single inner sleeve and outer hub are made from the same manufacturer, the same plant, on the same assembly line. That's why a lot of things, even though they're manufactured, things might be manufactured here in the United States, then a company takes care of it, and which is, you know, Canada. There's nothing wrong. Canada did a beautiful job on these, so I'm not putting my thumb down on Canada. What I'm saying is, each time something goes somewhere else and assembly lines are set up, sometimes small dimensions are changed on your components, and you got to analyze those as you're putting them together. All right, let's go get the other side here. All right, we've been stepping up the torque on these two bearing caps here, and I really couldn't find anything on Torrington. These are forged bolts, and I have to think that they're grade 8s, but without knowing exactly what they are, I'm just going to kind of play it safe. And in the realm there, 3/4 10. If it was grade 5, you'd be looking in an oiled situation. You'd be looking at 200, and grade 8, you'd be looking at about 280 being wet. I think we're going to just take these to 250, make them all even at 250, and I'm going to call that good. That's my choice. Whether it's actually the exact torque, the main thing the main reason why I was torquing on the removal was to prove that they were a torque, and just making sure that one wasn't accidentally loose over the other one, and that was kind of my thinking. But it generated a lot of thought on your part, and that's what the videos are all about. All right, so we're going to go ahead, and this is our last step here. Let me just double check. Alright, I'm happy with my torque. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and put the rubber coupling together, and then we're going to go ahead, and I think I'm going to go grab my my crane scale, and we're going to pick this thing up, and we'll find out how much this whole thing weighs out together. We got you on this outside here so you can kind of see that this this flange right here is... Alright, we're getting ready to put on this rubber coupler, and this is a backup ring, and you got to make sure that this is, well, I mean, you can flex this right on over the rubber. It's almost about the right size, and you can get it to flex, but it's a workout. So we'll just go ahead and we'll put that on this side here, and we won't have to do any working. All right, now we've already got this. We've got this all wiped down here as well. Oh, there's a little, some kind of a burr right there. Take a file, knock that down. I mean, it's rubber, I don't know. Well, somebody hit something, because there's a little bit there too. I didn't see that when I was wire wheeling it, but it was outside in the sun. Alright, the rest of it feels pretty good. And we're going to put this on here dry as well. And that just sits on there. It's located by that register. Alright, and the bolts come in from there, but they sandwich another ring here. Now this ring here is the one that sandwiches. Now this is the side that goes against there, and this is the side that faces out. Alright, and what we're going to do is we're going to start it with just a couple bolts here, and we need to make sure we got our never sees through there. Alright, and we're going to get one started across from that, down on the bottom. Then we can start rolling it around so we're always comfortable, top or bottom or whatever. We're using our impact, and we're just going to lightly just draw that lightly in. And same thing on this side here. Alright. Now we're going to go ahead and just roll it around. We're going to get all the bolts in here. Alright. We got all of these finger tight in here, and now we're gonna put the ring up. There's a couple dowel pins. There's one right there, and those they go in that location right there. I see there should be another one. Yeah, right there. All right. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna take 4 zip ties, and we're gonna put this through here, just so we don't have to mess or actually, yeah, mess with it at all. All right. So it's gonna be up here because we're going to be loading it on the truck for them, and we don't want them to flop around while we're doing our torque. We got to torque these bolts here, and it's out of the way, and it's kind of neat. It'll, stay nice, comfortable right there. All right, now these are 5/8 bolts, and they are grade 8s. All right. We looked at our chart for what we would torque these down, and just for curiosity, I went ahead. Dodge gave us a reading here, and of course, in their brilliance, they put the torque specs. This is a rubber coupling size 213. Okay, so that's they tell you a wrench torque in pounds and inches. Okay, they give you steel and iron, and they give you a plain torque. Okay. And they list that plain torque in inches, so they call it 2400 if it's steel and 2160 if it's iron. Okay, well, I got online and I pushed the buttons and got a conversion, and basically that says 199.9 foot-pounds for steel and 179.9 foot-pounds for iron. Okay, and this ring over here is cut out and machined and everything else, so it's a steel. So I'm going with the steel reading here because we know that these are grade 8. So the only other thing that would be a variable in alloy would be that ring that the threads are being contact. Those are the two things that are come to play here. All right, so with that said, there, going back here to the 5/8 grade 8 to the 220 to 170, I'm still going with the 170 because we put Never-Sees on there, and I believe that this would be a dry reading, and I give you the 220 is dry, 170 for the standard torque dimensions that I normally follow. And like I said again, this is my choice. The main importance of doing a torque in any aspect, there are some that actually the force has to be exactly tightened in the automotive. There's a lot of tricky rules on torques. I'm not going there. This is a big piece of equipment, big piece of machinery, and the most important thing is to have a torque and even a uniform, especially you're sandwiching a piece of rubber. Now this metal is going to come together, and basically it's holding a certain friction on here, and we want to make sure that these bolts are equal all the way around. We don't have a loose one here, a loose one there, and that's going to be more important than anything else. Alright, so we went ahead and we went around this thing, and we're just kind of, we're not even clicking on the ratchet yet, and we're kind of cinching it and rolling it. We haven't locked anything down to get the strength to actually do a torque. So this is kind of equally squishing that rubber in there and kind of just walking our way around. See how nice it is to have that ring zip tied up there. It's not flopping in front of you or in your way. Okay, we're starting to get up to where I think our rubber is pretty well collapsed or squished out now, and I think we are down to the metal to metal. Feels like that. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to get something in here and bar us. And I think something as simple as going down to the ground and then having a rest underneath here. So I'm going to grab a tape measure, we're going to make up something there. Alright, that wasn't too hard. Just went over and found a piece of steel here, and we're gonna just get it so it's locked in there. Alright, and we're at 100 foot-pounds, and I'm just gonna be lifting up here. Alright, and I think I can hit 3 here and then rotate it. Alright, we'll hit the next 3. We're on our last setting. That was 150, and now we're going to go ahead and we're going to go right to 175. Alright, that's clicking, and I just did 150. I'm going to grab the bigger torque wrench here. Okay, I just wanted to compare, and I would trust this wrench more than anything else, I think. 150 and 175. No, okay. Clicking right there. Alright. Next 3. Alright, I'm happy. We're completely assembled. We're going to put a couple grease pumps into the bearing here on the top, and we're going to go ahead and get our scale, and we're going to give this thing a lift, and we're going to find out how much this thing weighs totally. Okay, 0 pounds. 87. Now that's kind of cool because you can actually see it progress as it's trying to pick it up. 604 right now. Just want to make sure that you're getting a good view of that there. Okay, now we're still not off the ground yet. We're off the block. Okay, we're starting to scoot. £1,212, 1,213 is fluctuating there. So that gives you a good idea. Now I wasn't going to go ahead and weigh the shaft. I mean, it's 4 and 15/16 shaft at X amount of length there, and you can look on any chart and it'll tell you how much that actually weighs. And actually, if you want a good length on that, I'll give you just what the shaft was in here. Okay, and we're like 4 inches in there, 4 inches to here. Okay, and the shaft goes to there. So we're about 57 inches on the shaft if you want to figure out that at 4 and 15/16 diameter. All right, and so 1212. That's pretty good. You know, just about a half a ton in rotating assembly right here. Okay. We're going to take out these other blocks because they're going to scoot in here with that crane boom again. And there's probably them there. Well, that's the conclusion of my refurbishing of this little bit over half a ton piece of rotating equipment. The guys are going to be coming on over and picking this thing up and getting it on its way back over to their plant. When it gets over there, I asked them, I said, hey, is there a chance that we can see this thing running? And they said there's a good chance that we'll be able to see this thing running. And I hope that comes about. I don't know if we'll actually get to see this thing chew up a tree stump, or if we'll just get to see it running in a free run mode. We'll see what the guys got planned for us. Anyhow, I thought that would be interesting, and maybe a follow-up. I know a lot of you only get to see things that I only sometimes just get to see things that I do in the shop, and I don't really get to see it running in the field for one reason or another. But you can't always afford to get out of the shop one job after another to go find out how it's doing. The customers are pretty good about getting back to me and letting me know that everything's hunky-dory and things like that. Now, most of my videos are how I do it, not how to do it. So I really appreciate everybody else that has similar work or in their company, or even, I mean, a lot of bigger shops. I come from bigger shops, and now I'm doing this half a ton piece of rotating equipment in my walkway between my machines. So I chose to do some things in a little different fashion than some of you might. And I mean, if I had a giant shop and wide open area, you know, I'd be hot wrenching and things like that. I'm very good at all different kinds of ways of dismantling, and a lot of your suggestions are exactly how in the yards and stuff like that I've been able to do them. And I enjoy you guys putting that in there. That makes positive feed and makes a great video. Now, this is just an oddball. Didn't entail any welding, didn't entail any machine work, but I was able to do this for the customer, and they asked me to handle it, and I'm glad that I was very successful and giving them back a real nice running rotating unit. So until next time, get her done.